Okay, hi again, guys. I'm really sorry for what happened. I don't know why my computer kept crashing, kept doing weird things. I think it's solved now. I hope it's solved now. If it keeps crashing, I'll just have to cancel and close everything and leave it for another day. But yeah, so we're doing this clown girl today. I'm finishing this clown girl today. And I'm gonna start painting already because with all the crashing and all, I didn't do anything. So I was thinking about trying blue hair. Let's try that, and I'm gonna play with the colors maybe a bit now, um, to see if I can find something that convinces me more. So if you weren't here before, I wanted this girl to have a sort of vintage poster-like feel, like when you saw her. That's why the texture and all, so it's a bit more paper-like. I don't know. And these colors seem to fit, but I don't know, they seem a bit boring. Then also again, it's just the flat colors, so it might be normal that they seem a bit boring right now. I don't know. So let's try. This is a palette I had, by the way. Let me try this blue hair and see. I was thinking about something darker, but you never know. It might fit. Oh, I like that. So I wasn't sure, but I already like that more. Gives it some light, some life, not light. Sorry, bad English at these hours when I'm tired. Okay, so I'm turning that off and trying on the line art. Maybe darker. Okay. So yes, I think I'm gonna lighten the hair and keep the rest as it is. Let's do that and start moving. So first of all, let's start by lightening the actual hair. I don't know if we should go all the way here, or a bit more moderate. Yeah, I think I like it there. And I'm thinking about lining the line art as well. Not too much, but a bit. So that will be with nothing. And just a little bit there, I think. Okay, so yeah, I'm already feeling much better about this. So let's start coloring. I'm gonna do, where are the brows, by the way? Okay, here. And take advantage that I have this color before I take it off, because I already turned the opacity down on both layers, so it might be hard to find the exact color later. To lighten up the brows a bit. Again, not too much, just a little bit. Okay. I don't know if I should add already some color to lips and some, like a more realistic color, I mean. This is a color palette I took from a reference that was basically a vintage sort of poster like, I think. I don't even remember, it's just for the colors. So this is a brown that I think will fit on the features much better. I don't know if I should just go directly and fill it all up. Oh, okay. I think there's some shadow over the face over there. Should I erase the brows or just lower the opacity a little bit so it's not so... I sort of like it. Like the brown line art makes it a little bit more vintage feeling. When I started this drawing, I was very keen on keeping the green. I had the sketch on green. I think I have it here, yes. So if you weren't here before, I'm going to show you. This was the sketch, and it was green. So I guess because of that, I sort of felt the need to keep it, and I felt that it was gonna look better. But I guess that after a few days, like, I've detached myself a little bit from it, and now I can properly play with the colors a little bit better. So I'm gonna add the brown line art also to the color. This over here is a shadow that I'm gonna add the brown color to as well. I'll lower the opacity a little bit as well. Do the same over here so it's more cohesive. Lower a bit more. And on the ground, because obviously the green in the crown didn't even fit. I was going to change it anyway, so I think in here I'm gonna keep it just as it is, or maybe find another one. I'm gonna go for the golden and see if I like that. Not really. Maybe there. I think I still prefer the brown. Let's skip the brown. Okay. So I already like her a lot more. And she seems a lot more vintagey now, which is really nice. So I'm gonna start shading, I think, and later I'll decide on the color of the lips, because, you know, it might come to me later with some tests. So let's start shading in the layer colors. I have them all here. This is hair. I didn't name them. That's not on me. The color that I don't remember how it's called now. Skin and crown. Okay, let's start with the skin. I'm creating a clipping mask and working on top of it. If you don't know what I'm doing when I do that, basically when you create a clipping mask, you can work without getting out of this bit that you have the mask clipped to. If you unclip it, then it goes all around. It doesn't clip it to this part. So I'm gonna grab, I don't know if I should go with the tones over here, or just go with my gut, which will be my usual, a purple. I tend to shade with purple, so I think I'm gonna go with my gut. I still don't even have the brushes organized after I reset my computer, and it's working a bit oddly. Not complicating myself too much with the shadows. Right now the brush is a bit big and I'm just doing some general ones. Contouring the face to give it some dimension. do a lot of things by feel, but I learned anatomy a long time ago, so most of the times I know what I'm doing is just muscle memory, even though it seems random. And that doesn't mean I know enough anatomy. I think I should keep studying it in a bit more serious way. It's just I never usually feel like it to actually study all the bones and muscles, you know, that part. But I've done plenty of figure studies, gesture drawings, live drawing, and all of that to know my basics. So if you've been here before, you might be familiar with the way I shade things. I basically do a big fluffy sort of layer, and this will be it. Usually I mostly do it in 2 layers, but sometimes I'm a bit more perfectionist and I will go with a few more. But yeah, so I do one big fluffy brush. With the brush is the same, but it's fluffier when it's bigger. And then I lower the opacity on this and I do another one. Here I make the brush smaller, and that usually makes the brush a bit harder, and I go over the details. Guys, are you seeing that on the brows? What happened there? I don't remember adding a noise filter. No, I'm pretty sure I didn't add a noise filter. Am I imagining that? No, I can see it in the other screen as well. Okay, we'll leave that for later. I don't know where it comes from. Is it because... No. I don't get it. And I don't really like it either. It might be because of the layer I added before to the brows. But let's ignore that for now. Okay. So smaller, as I said, and adding more details. I'm thinking... Oh, hi. Thank you for following. For a second I was like, what was that? I'm not really used to the noises Twitch does yet. I really like this brush, by the way. I use mostly the same brushes all the time, really. I've come to a few favorites, and most of them are from, I'm gonna tell you because I think both of them are free and are out there. They come from Danica Sills brush set. These 3. This is the fluffy brush I'm using. This is one that is pretty good for line art. And this one is a harder one that I don't use much, but sometimes I do for filling out things and all. And then the other one is Loisha's one. And again, I don't use all of these. I think I use this one and this one sometimes. But yeah, those are most of my brushes. Oh, no, I forgot. And then I have one from, I don't have it here. From, oh, I'm blanking. Her name is Jamila Gnov, and I have a few of her brushes from a course I took with her, and those will be these 2 that I use a lot too. So that will make most of the brushes I use. That will be this over here. Just wanted to say that in case you were curious about the brushes. I'm very basic with brushes, really. Hi, I just saw the comment. Thank you for following and watching. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you like the piece. the first original piece I do on this channel. Like, I've started very recently, but I've only done fan art still till now. This piece is really very simple, to be honest. I don't know, it's taking me a bit longer than usual to get it done. Okay, so I'm also saving it to do it on streams, and that always, you know, takes longer because I haven't had that much time to do streams lately, or sometimes just not even the mood for it. But I also feel like I'm a bit, how would you say it? I'm feeling a bit untrained right now with art. I feel like I've lost a bit of my practice with it. I haven't been drawing daily lately, and I think I haven't even been drawing too much. I would like to work on that soon and try to be more consistent with it. For some reason, when you start running sort of a business around your art, funnily enough, you stop doing art so much, which is the very first reason you started off. And I'm not the first one to say it. I've heard plenty of creators say that before. Still doesn't make it any less ironic. So I'm not sure. I have a bit of a white space up here that I should fill up. Okay, so this will be the sharper effect, the sharper layer. Even so, on here sometimes I go a bit bigger and add some more, because it also acts as a second layer to build up on top of the previous one. Okay, that's the shadow layer, and I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, I feel like I haven't done much, but Looks good enough to me. Let's fill up that hole, by the way, before I forget. There. Okay. Oh no. Just realized I didn't save the color I was using over here. And I lowered the opacity a bit, so it's not going to be accurate over here. No, it's not. Just going to eyeball it. Moving on to the color. The color is a bit of a boring thing to add. I think I'm going to go for a darker purple because it's not really doing much. There. This is also not doing much because I had like a shadow layer done with the line art part. Yes, I know, it's a bit of a weird thing. I'm gonna make this bigger and just color in all the ones below. That's better and a bit faster. Okay. Okay, the crown should be fast, so let's do that, and then the hair. With the crown, as it's a shiny metal object, the shades will be much sharper. same with the lights, by the way. There. With the hair I'm going to do the same as with the face, as it's not going to be only one layer. I'm going to do a big fluffy brush sort of layer, a multiply effect. Look at that color, isn't that cool? And this is why you don't shade with black. It gives much more interest to shade with a color. I'm really liking the turn it's taking. I had the feeling that I wasn't gonna be happy with the result. But now I'm thinking that I might do. Might be. Not do. You know what I mean. Okay, so I'm seeing there's a line over here that shouldn't be there. No, did I move this on top of the hair and it shouldn't be? Yes, I think so. There. Okay. Okay, so major shadows added over there. Let's lower that opacity. I'm still adding some of the big shaded areas with a big brush, but I'm gonna switch it in a sec. In here I don't go as detailed as in the face anyway, so I'll just darken some parts that I feel should be darkened. I'm gonna leave it around there because this way it keeps the sort of blue tone that it has there. And I'm gonna do a multiply layer with the same color over the brows. But I'm still not sure how they got that sort of noisy effect. I really don't get it, but we'll fix that later. It just looks like you don't see it from here, but it looks very odd when you close up because nothing else is with that effect, and I'm not even sure how that happened. Then with the hair, I will shade the line art as well because it looks very non-dimensional to do it this way. And really, in my hair, the line art is as much part of the art as it is the flat color, it maybe even more. So I do always shade the line art of the hair. Sometimes other line art as well, but not usually as much as the one with the hair. Thank you so much. I feel like I haven't looked at the comments in forever. I don't know if I took really long to respond. Okay. It's just a while back I looked and there was no one watching, so I thought that I was alone basically. Okay, so at least now the line art has a bit more dimension. I don't think I'm gonna leave it as dark though. There, I think. Okay, so it all has now a layer of shade. I'm thinking about adding a layer of shade to the... either do a layer of shade or just go directly with black, because I like the eyelashes to be black. So let's try with this, because it might look more interesting. It's a bit annoying because I do have, as you can see, the lines around the eye here as well, and they get colored. Oh, I'm gonna color some of her freckles as well. So some of them are darker than others. Yeah, I like it for it to be a bit more contrast on the face. So I usually always darken at least the eyes and sometimes the nostrils, because those are the darkest points in the face. Sometimes I add some other touches as well. Like so. I'm gonna shade around the face so we can clearly distinguish it from the rest. And again, the color there, like it was shading on top of the face and it felt odd. definitely taking a better shape now. So I feel like I should add some shades over this liner as well. Wait, oh, that was the crown. Bad layer. Here. Okay, so shadows are ready. Now I'm gonna add some blush to the face. That always gives it some light. Some life, not light, again. I said that 2 times today. I don't know what's happening in my brain. So this might seem like I'm going very, very, very red, but I'll lower the opacity in a moment. Honestly, I just do this because it's way harder to keep the brush softer. So I just go a bit heavier and lower the opacity. And besides, I like to have a bit of blush around all the face so she looks a bit more alive. And I do this especially when I left the base color very plain, very, yellowish side. And I think I did in this one. So just it's very soft, the first layer. I'm gonna do one that's just blush. But just if we keep it like at 20%, you can already see that she's not as pale, she looks more alive. Blush is just really, really important. And 2 on the face, not only on the face, but 2 also on the body. Like if you add blush around certain parts like the fingers, sometimes knees and things like that, just gives it a bit more life and realism. But obviously one of the parts that has more blush always is the face, because it has more vases, so more blood vessels, I mean. So you will always have more blood there. I think I'm gonna go less so pink and more a bit yellow. Not yellow, red. I'm sorry guys, I'm a bit tired today. And it's hard to talk. Also, my Spanish, Portuguese, or you can say Mediterranean self always talks really fast, even in English, and that doesn't let me time to think properly. Okay, so when I do the proper blush, I just do nose, cheeks and chin. And sometimes if I feel like she looks very pale, I will do a soft thing in the forehead as well. Though the forehead will not usually have blush, but I like it. It's just my thing. I'm gonna add some pinkish tone around her eyes as well, just because it felt very dark down there. Then I'm gonna lower the opacity quite a lot. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm debating whether I should just go all in or keep it light like this and add another layer. It's just that I was not convinced with the placement. But a clown usually has a lot of blush, right? So I'm thinking maybe doing something like this. Okay, I like it better there. The awesomeness of having layers is always good. So, okay, blush, it's ready. Now I'm thinking about coloring the lips before I start adding the highlights. Not the I was going to say the shines. See, my brain is not functioning well today. And I'm thinking, for some reason I'm thinking dark. Dark, like purplish. Let's try. I'm gonna set this to multiply. Or try other layers, layer modes. This is obviously too light for what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something more like this. Yeah, that's too much. Well, I could also go for this and lower, right? Or was it better the other one? I think it was this one. I'm confused. There's times that it's just hard to make certain decisions about your own drawing, which seems really silly. But there's so many possibilities of things to do that is just hard sometimes. So I think I'm gonna, as you can see, what I'm doing is double the layer, so it's a bit stronger, which was what I was hoping for. So it still has the purple touch, but it's darkish, and I like that. Okay, so lips done, blush done. Now it's time for the highlights, and I'm usually pretty. I think I'm faster with this than I am usually with the shadows, because I keep them bigger and just softer, I guess. So I'm gonna start with the color, just mainly because I don't want to. It's the one that I'm not really feeling like doing, so. And which one was the? What was this one? So this is just my normal, but I usually go for purple for shadows, yellowish, almost white for lights. Still with a bit of yellow tint, so it gives a bit more interest to the shadows, especially with certain color modes. And here I always experiment with the one that fits better with the drawing. This way it's not only light, but it also gives the interest to the drawing that wasn't really there before. I'm gonna keep the lights soft on here because I don't want the color to be a point of interest. And now to the crown. I'm doing the pointless stuff because that's always the things that I'm not interested in. What was the color mode I used? Sometimes when I used one color mode, I go for the same on the rest, so it looks more cohesive, the lights. Sometimes I might try another one, but most times I just keep the same. Unless I want a special effect or something. I'm gonna do 2 layers on the crown, one like that, and one more sharp. Just because it's a metal object, not, it doesn't really have much more interest than that. So to make it slightly realistic, I'm adding some lines like this. Still I'm gonna do that. There. The things about color modes like this is, as you can see, they sort of bring out some saturation in the shadows. That looks really nice as well. Okay, let's do the face now. I was going to leave the blush layer alone. So first layer, lowering the opacity a little bit. And second layer. Also here I didn't do the exposed thing. Not sure if I want to. Okay, we'll do it. As you can see, I rather add softer effects in various layers and to go all in. That's just my preference. You can obviously do it in any other way you want. Oh, hi. Well, not late, but I am close to finishing now. I had some trouble when I began with my computer, so I had to start this second part. I'm gonna erase the other part later. I just didn't want it to be any more late than it was already. But I still have some highlights to add, so I can still be here for another 10 minutes or so. But yes, I am close to wrapping up. Yes, I am gonna I'm gonna add some lights as well, both to the base color and to the line art, because I basically work with both, the line art is what creates the texture, and the base color gives it the base. So I'm gonna add lights to both of them, and then I think I'm done. I might leave it to rest till tomorrow and see if I want to add something else, but the bulk of the work is done, and there's just not that much else to add. And this is why it's useful to learn about makeup. You know where to put your highlights. I swear to you, this knowledge initially came from here, from makeup really. Also, before I finish, well, I might do that tomorrow too, but if you're new here, you might have realized that, well, you might haven't realized because we spoke about this before. The brows have done that, and I don't know how it happened. They used to be line art as this before because I did it the same way, but I think I changed the color before, and I think I did it in a weird way, and now there's those noise filtery thing going on. Whoops, too close. And just, it really doesn't fit when you close up on it. So it wouldn't make sense to add highlights here because there's a layer on top. And okay, so we're done with the highlights on the face. I'm gonna combine that. I'm also gonna do some extra highlights later on the pupils and lips because I have another layer on top that's sort of shading them, so I need to do that on the other layer. Okay, so hair time. Again, as with the shadows, big soft brush, general lights. And as you can see, they don't translate as much, just basically because I already have a lot of shadow going on the line art layer. But it works to give a nice extra touch there and bring out the color a little bit. I'm going a bit smaller just with the same brush, in the same layer, I mean, same brush obviously. I haven't changed the brush because I always shade all the time with this brush. I think I'm also gonna cut this stream a bit earlier because my boyfriend's calling me insistently, and I believe that he might need something, because if not he wouldn't be calling insistently. I already left him a message saying that I'm streaming. Sorry, my brain doesn't work well with English today. But I'm gonna finish the hair still. Oh, clipping mask first. So as you can see, this lightens the line art, so it lightens the full thing. Okay, so here on the line art, I'm not completely convinced. I don't know why that looks like that way. With how this layer looks. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm leaving it like that. Thank you. It really adds to it, really. I think that's my favorite part, adding the little highlights. And as I said, I usually go now again over everything, and do a few sharpen highlights in the lips. That helps bring it out together, and on the eyes as well, because it makes it a bit more realistic. Sometimes I might sneak an extra highlight here and there. No, I don't like that one. I'm gonna have to change those brows. And on the hair, sometimes I do try an extra highlight, but I don't usually do too much. Okay, we'll leave it there just because it's basically finished. I'm just gonna be nitpicking at weird things and tomorrow I'll open it again, fix the brows because I really don't know what happened to them, and see if I want to add any other touch before I publish it on Instagram and all. And yeah, I think that the piece changes a lot. Like, for example, from the beginning of the stream, which was base colors, to now, it seems like such simple things, but they do make a lot of difference. So my boyfriend keeps calling me. I think he might need something, so I'm gonna close the stream now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming through. As always, I'll upload this in a couple of weeks to my YouTube, so you can see it all there. Just because Twitch makes things disappear. And yeah, I'll leave it here. Thank you so much. Bye!